Well, hello and welcome to the April El Valle de Anton garden update. There are exciting things happening in the garden because I am winning the battle against the leafcutter ants, and it's amazing what's happening. Let's go take a look. So I had this gardenia bush I've had it for probably 3 years. It had one blossom once, and then it's just been growing but not blossoming until I got the bulk, I think, of the leafcutter ant nest. And now, like today, there's 3 gorgeous blossoms on this gardenia bush. It smells amazing. So a few weeks ago, I asked the gardener to start removing the ferns that were in this area because they were just taking over. And I don't want just ferns in my garden. And he uncovered this area, which turns out to be the vents from the leafcutter ants. These are very complex creatures and they're very smart. And they have like an entrance hole that's small and you would hardly ever be able to find it. But one day, I mean, it's easy to spot the leafcutters because they're carrying blossoms. And so anytime you see like a colorful piece moving, you can pretty much guess the leafcutters are going to be there. So there was an entrance on the other side of this, and I was being vigilant about getting it, spraying it with the toxic stuff, and everything seemed good for about a week. And then that's when I started getting the gardenia blossoms, and this stuff just smells incredible. I love this plant. I have 2 cuttings now that are growing in different areas, and I mean, they're just starting, but hopefully they'll be as strong. So then a couple days ago, I saw like a little piece of yellow marching down here. So I think there's an entrance hole underneath this plant. So I sprayed, and I haven't seen any activity since, but I think I'm going to come out later tonight because that's when you can see a lot of their activity. If they're around, they generally like to come out and forage at night. Oh my gosh, isn't this just gorgeous? I just love this plant. I always forget the name of it, but ChatGPT said that it was called Panama rose, but I'm not sure. But it just smells amazing. It smells like a rose. I've been putting down the compost and that I bought. I'll go show you what the compost pile is doing of the horse manure. I got this fountain on Amazon. No birds that I've seen have used it. These guys, I just would love for them to all go away. The chacalacas. So this has been a few weeks and the thermometer shows that it's still active. So I took it from the pile that was, contained in those blocks and moved it here. This is definitely the last time I'm gonna do any type of experiment with horse manure. Now that I know I can buy bags of compost. And my gardener starting to pile up some green waste here in the bananas because they love nutrients and they love moisture. And so I've been like putting some water on them And I think it'll be good, especially when the rainy season starts. That all that stuff will break down and they'll have a lot to eat. So this is the area without the compost bin. Not sure if I showed you that last month. The Dombea tree that I was so afraid to cut just looks full and healthy. And the lantana is starting to come back. So is the bougainvillea. Those were both decimated by the leaf cutters. Also, the hibiscus. Now I have flowers. So these leaf cutters were definitely chowing down on all my flowers. What else is over here? I'm not sure what I'm gonna plant in this area. There's some zinnias that are gonna come up. I am gonna prune back this Brugmansia tree because it's just very leggy. And I'm also gonna prune back the Confederate rose. But look, isn't this so pretty, this blossom? It's afternoon, so they've turned pink, and then they'll get darker. I've been doing some deeper watering because all of a sudden it's like really dry. The cosmos are attracting all sorts of pollinators. It's so nice to come out in the morning with my tea and just look at all the bird activity. And I probably can't get the camera to show you, but the guava tree has a blossom. I saw it, I think this morning actually. Now I can't spot it, but I'm pretty sure that means that there'll be a fruit coming, because after it blossoms, then there's fruit. And this shrub with the little delicate blue flower, this attracts so many hummingbirds. It's amazing. I mean, it's like a hummingbird magnet. It's such a pretty time of day. You can just see the top of Cara Iguana in the distance. And the birds are not really feeding that much because they're all nesting. These were some other plants that the leaf cutters were feasting on. This is a jasmine shrub, so there's no blossoms yet, but that was stripped. I mean, there was no greenery. Same thing with that one. And I think the leaf cutters had pretty much destroyed the mussaenda. I don't know if it's gonna come back healthier than this. We'll see. I just love how like soft and delicate that looks. I like when the field is cut next to my property because it just, makes it look like you can just look way off in the distance, because that shrubbery usually gets pretty tall. Let's see what else is new. There's some more zinnias that I planted just at the edges here. And let me show you. This had been in a different area, this vine, this pink blossom. So it had been in a different spot in the yard. But it's like, once it gets going, it's pretty vigorous and strong. And it's coming back to life. And so hopefully that will, take over. I feel like for 2 years I've been trying to get this space covered. Eventually. I still haven't detangled the green jade vine. I think I'm afraid to just do anything to it. Still got a ways to go before I'm gonna see any blossoms. I feel like my plants are actually getting a little healthier from putting that compost down. This plumbago really hadn't been doing all that well, and now at least there's some blossoms. And the peace lilies are actually getting healthier because I put some compost and rice hulls in there, mixed it up. So that's starting to do a little better. And then look at this beautiful gardenia bush. This is just, right now there's like 1, 2, 3, 4 blossoms. It just smells amazing. This area is gonna need a little trimming, pruning, turning over the soil, mixing in some compost, cutting some stuff back, maybe doing some deep watering. The other day, these were full of beautiful purple leaves, and now they're gone. So I don't know what's eating them. I swear it's just a constant guessing game of like, what's destroying the garden today? But there is improvement over. Oh, one other thing that's improved. The Panama flame tree that I had planted at the edge of the yard And then I looked up online, why wasn't it thriving? And it was too wet. And it said, just put it in a pot, keep it fairly dry and in the sun. And so now there's some nice healthy leaves that are coming. I added these rock boundaries because in the rainy season, that's just gonna, flood. And I didn't want it to wash away the soil immediately. So there's sand behind the rocks. And then I'm gonna just get more soil, mix it with compost, and fill in so that the bamboo can kind of start growing out a little bit. But it still looks pretty healthy for mid-dry season. And then the scruffy area, it's actually starting to fill in. And that sweet almond that was looking really scraggly now has blossoms and more to come. And that smells amazing. It kind of smells like sweet alyssum. And then there's hibiscus behind it. That one, this, and another one. I think I might have put too many in there, but we'll see. You can always cut them back or take them out. And the purple or blue ginger, even though this soil is just not good at all, they're growing and they're so beautiful. I've always been afraid to cut them, but they're starting to pop up in other areas, close by. So I have cut some of them. Some of them I've stuck just in the ground in different spots. And then I have some of them in a pot right here. But they're just too pretty to keep tucked away in the corner. This is where that other Panama rose vine is. And this piece had greenery on it, but those leaves all fell off. So I'm hoping it's okay. I mean, it seems like a pretty sturdy plant. And I didn't really need to put any rocks around this bamboo because it's just flat. There's really nowhere for it to drain off. And yeah, just gonna get some more soil and mix it with the rice hulls and compost. There's a bird's nest up in there. This bird actually did a really good job of making this nest. You wouldn't think that the bamboo would be super secure, but it managed to find a, like a spot where it's kind of tucked in there and that piece doesn't really move. So it's a smart bird. I see its tail feathers. I am thrilled with how my bromeliads are looking. I had no idea they were such an easy plant to take care of. These were mostly just rescued from where the peace lilies were. Everything was just kind of overgrown in there, and now this looks just so much better to feature them. All right, I have to get to watering the rest of the garden. All right, I am going to look for leaf cutters. I've got my Next Torch headlamp on. Off I go. Next Torch sent me this E-Star headlamp complimentary for my review. I love that it has 2 batteries and actually can take AAA batteries as well. I love that it has a meter on it, that blue lights that indicate how much battery is left, and that it has this brightening and dimming switch. So all in all, it was very helpful. This was where one of the main entrances was, and then over there was another spot that I saw the leaf cutters coming. You know what's cool about this headlamp is you can adjust the brightness by a little turn dial on the side of it. All right, so this is a good sign that I don't see any leaf cutter ants. This headlamp is really bright and goes a great distance. I'm attracting all sorts of bugs to me at the moment. I'm gonna go look for a couple other spots where I've had leaf cutters. I'm gonna turn it up brighter because I don't want any critters coming to find me. We had rain today, so these are the frogs that you can hear in the background. If you're gonna move to Panama, you are gonna need a headlamp. The power goes out. Sometimes you gotta look for leafcutter ants. This headlamp has a bunch of different focal points, and I love how that brightness can be adjusted. It's also good just around the house. I noticed that I have some really dark cabinets, and it's helpful to have one. So thanks so much to Next Torch, and there's a link to their Amazon page to purchase. Enough fun with headlamps. I'm gonna go inside. I shouldn't do the red one, that's emergency only. Or the blinking red is emergency. Thanks for joining me for this month's garden tour. I will see you next month. May is supposed to be the start of our rainy season, and we'll see how that goes.